You would think someone who blew the whistle in deep red Kentucky would be rewarded for identifying a scam that allowed illegals to get driver's licenses with forged documents and cash bribes.
It's really dangerous. But according to a Louisville
Really?
DMV employee, she didn't get praised at all. In fact, she got fired from her job. Newsmax crime correspondent Jason Matera has the details for us this morning.
I want to clear my name, and I want my job back.
At a Louisville DMV, the place meant to vet safe and legal drivers, some clerks were instead allegedly making money in a dangerous side hustle.
Undocumented workers would come in to the office. They would be bypassed without even taking a permit test or taking a work test. They would then be paid under the table. They would be paid $200 a person.
Melissa Mormon, a 3-year employee working at the NIA Center branch, says illegals would walk in with fake birth certificates, social security cards, and utility bills. 2 co-workers, according to Mormon, would then give them the fast pass treatment. No lines, no tests, just licenses for cash.
My ID was being used in order to pin me into this scam.
Her whistleblower letter, dated October 29, 2024, warned management that her employee credentials were being used, even when she wasn't at work. Investigators later said that her ID popped up in more than 2,000 shady transactions.
They actually took my phone and looked through all my messages. They looked through my Cash App. They looked through my Zelle, just to prove they know I didn't wasn't involved in any of this business picture.
Mormon says she turned over everything to clear her name, but after getting grilled 3 times in just one day, she was fired over the phone.
I want to clear my name. I want to let people know out there that I wasn't involved in any type of legal activity.
Her attorney, Gary Adams, calls it textbook retaliation for exposing fraud and abuse of authority, and he's suing under Kentucky's Whistleblower Act.
As soon as she tells them everything she knows, she gives them everything she can to exonerate herself, she gets fired.
But instead of clearing her name, Melissa Mormon says she got branded the culprit.
Why was this pinned on me for something that I didn't do?
Mark Charlotte, we did reach out to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to respond to these serious.
Pause. Let me just add this, because this is I like to listen deliberately, to listen for details. And can I recap what I heard? Well, so they accused her of giving away IDs and driver's license to illegals that had fake birth certificates, fake socials, for money under the table in exchange. So you would give them money for whoop-de-whoop. They seen it going on, so this must have been going on for a pretty long time, a decent amount of time to keep record of it. And her ID was used every time. She's saying that somebody else used her ID to do it. And now she got fired after she got interviewed, and they think she's the corporate instead of saying that she claims that somebody else used her identification. Now, look, it's a dirty world we live in, man. Look, this is the second time me reviewing this, and I didn't just catch it to the second time. And I said, wait a minute. Now, how would somebody have access to your shit, and it's been going on for a minute, and then when they tell you, you claim you don't know nothing about it? Interesting. Because what you're doing is highly illegal. It makes sense that you would say you're not doing it, right? Because not only do you get fired for such thing, it's actually very illegal, because you're accepting illegal forged documentation in exchange for monetary gain of government issued identification, which then put these individuals that have not taken a test. So there's no record of a driving test unless you're forging driving test records that possibly have your name on it. Because that means either one or two things. You don't have a driving test record on there, which states you never drove, or you're forging the driving test record so they can get the ID. And there's a possibility that either your stamp or your ID number or your signature is on those documentations. It's kind of like the paper they bring with you to go on the driving test, and they marking shit slowly. Either you never did it and gave them an ID under your identification name, or you signed off on it and said they passed something that they didn't. But the records state that these socials are fake, these birth certificates are fake, and not only that, you've been getting paid under the table. I'm be honest, the first time I seen this video, I didn't believe she did it. But then the second time I seen this video, it's starting to make sense. They got her. And I want to see what party she represents. And I'm not going to say that will dictate exactly what she was doing. But this is interesting that this is even happening. I think this should make bigger news. This is Newsmax. I never heard of them, by the way. But I go to everybody. I review everybody. This should be on something big. People should know about this. You got fired from the DMV for giving illegals driver's licenses from fake forged documents, and also stating that they took driving tests that they didn't take while getting money under the table for each person. Because, of course, you got to be incentivized to do it, right? Or you would just be doing favors without compensation. You see, I tell people sometimes humans are very simple to get through. It just makes sense. Like, why would someone just take your identity? They didn't question nobody else, just you. Why would the information out of everybody's information be the one used for lots of people? For multiple forged documentation. And I wonder how long it took for them to catch this. And this is what happens when people are able to get IDs, apply for certain jobs, and their IDs state that they're not a visitor. They're not on a visa. These are official identifications that don't specify if they're a citizen or not. So they roam within us, including guys that get their driver's license and drive commercial trucks and cause accidents and kill people because they don't know the rules of the road. They would have not passed otherwise. They probably don't have a car, don't have insurance. So they're driving illegal, just like they would probably in their country. They have access to these devices. They're not following the rules. And guess who gave it to them? Our government facility, because there is a bug in the system, let's say. If this is true, and this is just what I'm believing because I'm putting two to two together. If this is true, this is crazy. This should be worldwide news. This is actually despicable because of the fact that you took compensation in exchange for forged documentation that you knew was fake. Definitely being part of the DMV, you know when you seeing something that don't look real because you see the real shit all the time. You know what I mean? That's like seeing a pair of fake shoes when you only feel new shoes all the time. Then somebody bring in a pair of fake shoes, like, oh, I know these are fake. These aren't nothing like the other ones. But you're like, for $200 extra, I can say they're real though. And for another $200, I can say you passed the test when I know you didn't. Something got her caught up. She did it, bro. I'm gonna be honest. At first, I thought she didn't. Looked at the video a second time. She's the corporate. She did it. Let me keep playing this video, man. This is getting very interesting. This is getting juicy, big dog. And hey, if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to my channel, it's Angelo Savage Boy. I don't only commentate. I investigate, goddammit. Let's go.
And they did acknowledge that there were at least 1,900 what they called irregularities, and those licenses were revoked. But they did push back on Mormon's claims. They said that she was a temporary.
Let me repeat I'm not even going to repeat. Let me play back what he just said. See, I didn't see this part. I didn't see the part when she was fake crime. 1,900 irregularities. 1,900 from one person?
That there were at least 1,900 what they called irregularities.
We're going back more. Investigation style. Let's go.
Mark Charlotte, we did reach out to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to respond to these serious allegations, and they did acknowledge that there were at least 1,900 what they called irregularities, and those licenses were revoked. But they did push back on Moorman's claims. They said that she was a temporary employee and that they're flatly denying her allegations. They wouldn't elaborate any further, saying that this was an open criminal investigation involving various state and federal agencies.
I like the phrase irregularities. 1,900 of them.
Yeah, not good, especially if you're driving through Kentucky anytime soon.
Maybe that explains our Earth Cam problems that we've seen.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Jason Matera, thank you.
Yo, look, 1,900, right? And I'm not just saying it's her, but that's the only person they're saying did it. That's the only person they have there, unless they're just targeting this random black woman. This is the DMV. It's probably hella black women in there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been to a DMV yet that ain't had black people in there working. 1,900, G? My calculator, G. We not playing around. Let's do some simple math. Let's just assume, right? And this is just talking numbers, right? Let's just assume she did 1,900 people, right? And this, she says, a temporary worker, which is crazy. 1,900. Let's times that by what they say, 200, 250. Let's be conservative and say 200. So 1,900 equals the amount of people. $200 mean the amount of money that she got per person to pass, get them illegal licenses and shit. $380,000. Send that bitch to jail, G. Send her to jail. Lock her up. Now. Never. Not period. They wouldn't have fired her if they didn't have a legit reason, G. This is the government. They wouldn't have fired her if they didn't know. This is the government that issues government IDs. They wouldn't have fired her if they didn't know. 1,900 people times the conservative number of 200 instead of like 250 or 300, what she was charging per application that she let through, is $380,000 under the table. You got to let her go. Nope. And they didn't mention that about criminal charges because it's still in an investigation and she's already got fired for it. They didn't even put her on no administrative leave. She got fired for it, which means they know for sure. Or they suspect her, she did it for sure. It's definitely about to be an investigation. They finna do an audit. If they probably already got the feds on her. You see, this is why you need Angelo Savage in your corner. You know what I mean? Because I got a little skepticism. I might be a little cynical, but my cynicalness dictates why I'm such good at predicting behavior. Now, I'm not gonna be surprised if later, I'm breaking this down for y'all now. Follow me. I'm not going to be surprised later if they say that this woman pocketed $380,000 plus. This one lady. Because that's the only one they assume at the moment has been charged, right? They said 1,900 for $200 each person. That's $380,000, G. I'm looking at the calculator right now. This bitch a criminal. That's federal charges, G. Put her in jail. At this point, this is bigger than you just going to getting fired. You need to go to jail now. Damn, this is federal money, boy. You made $380K. Yeah, put her in jail. Give her 15 years, G. 15. I'm not playing. 15. Give her 15, G. I'm not playing. If this is serious, man, this is a big problem because this is one lady. Who taught her this? Somebody taught her this. And somebody told them to go in to this lady exactly, which means she has an outsource that is working on the outside too. You see, the reason why I'm so smart is because I gotta predict human behavior based on what the story is, why this happened, and why this happened. If this happens, if A squared plus B squared equals C squared, this bitch did it. She going to jail. Facts. If A squared plus B squared equals C squared, she going to jail. Facts. And then you got other accomplices outside of the jail that is leading the immigrants that probably don't speak that much English because this is a black woman. She probably don't even speak Spanish. So there's somebody on the outside that she's connected to that are sending them in looking for her, and then probably contacting her to tell them to look for them. Y'all think this is random? It's like you standing in line and that person must go to you. And if that person don't go to you and go to your coworker, the deal off and it don't work. She probably the person that does the testing for the car testing. And she letting everybody through. For a fee. This is criminal. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section. I could be wrong now. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm rarely wrong when it comes to stuff like this, because it's like it's blatantly out there. And tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section what you think that I might be, or tell me if you think that I might be on to something. I want y'all to tell me what you think, because I tried to make as much sense as I could with this. That being said, don't forget to subscribe, because your boy Angelo Savage. I'm going crazy. Let's go. Peace.